Welcome everyone to the City of Desert Hot Springs special meeting of the Planning Commission, Monday, April 25th, 2022, 6 p.m. At this time, I will call the meeting to order. Can we get a roll call, please?
Commissioner Grant. Commissioner Meyerhoffen.
Here.
Commissioner Wagstaff.
Here.
Vice Chair Nindell.
Present.
Chair Duffel.
Present. Fantastic. At this time, please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, folks. At this time, we will now open the public comments. Public comments will be considered under the agenda item. Please state your name and city of residence. Comments are limited to 3 minutes per speaker. All comments are to be directed to the Planning Commission and shall be devoid of any personal attacks. Members of the public are expected to maintain a professional and courteous decorum during public comments. Do we have any public comments this evening?
No, we do not.
Okay, no public comments this evening, so we'll go ahead and close the public comments. At this time, we're going to be moving into the public hearings, at which time I will be recusing myself from item number 1 to prevent any potential accusations of bias. Thank you very much. I'll turn the meeting over to my vice chair.
All right, everyone, good evening. We are going to go over tract map number 22-2, a request for the subdivision of a 7.65 acre parcel into 2 parcels. Can we have the staff report, please?
Mr. Chair, Mr. Vice Chair, if I may. So we received a letter from the applicant, so the chair does not have to recuse from this item.
Okay. Fine with me.
Thank you, Vice Chair Nindell. I have been pulled out of the back and told that the applicant has not requested me to recuse. They would like for my participation in this item. I have recused on items pertaining to Coachella for the past 2 years because of some comments that took place on my personal social media account. Since that time, Coachella has decided that it was political season and the statements have no bearing on my decision-making ability. So Coachella has asked that I go ahead and proceed with the meeting. With that being said, public hearing item number 1, tract map number 22-2, a request for the subdivision of a 7.65 acre parcel into 2 parcels. May I have a staff report, please?
Yes, thank you.
Mr. Chair, members of the commission, if I may interrupt before we go with the staff report, I just received, also just to piggyback, I just received an email from Lenny Asaro, who is Coachella's counsel, pretty much stating pretty much the exact same thing that you just said. I just wanted to make sure that we also had it on the record that that their counsel also withdraws any kind of cease and desist email from this to the city. So you can go ahead and proceed with this item. Thank you, and sorry for the interruption.
That's okay. Thank you very much, Ms. City Attorney. I greatly appreciate it. We'll go ahead and move on to the staff report, please.
The project site is located north of the I-10 freeway on the west side of Indian Canyon Drive, just north of 19th Avenue within the Coachella specific plan, as shown here. The applicant, Cochillan Holdings LLC, filed an application for a tentative parcel map number 38250 to subdivide parcel 33 into 2 parcels. Parcel 1 is proposed at approximately 4.3 acres, and parcel 2 is proposed at 3.2 acres. Shown here is the site plan, and the blue line indicates where the applicant is proposing to subdivide parcel 33. Per section 9.1.1 of the Cochillan specific plan, the property owner may subdivide a parcel given that they are no smaller than 1.5 acres, which this meets the requirement. On November 7, 2017, the City Council approved the Cochillan specific plan, and in doing so certified the mitigated negative declaration for the project. Pursuant to section 15162A of the SECA regulations, once an MND has been certified for a project, no subsequent environmental review needs to be completed unless there are substantial changes in the project that warrant additional review. This is for consideration of TM 22-2 for tentative parcel map number 38250 to subdivide parcel 33 within the Cochillan specific plan with APN 666-340-040. That concludes my report. I'm available if you have any questions. Thank you.
Thank you very much for the staff report. I'm going to start off the questions myself. In regards to this property, I noticed the picture that you put up on the screen has development already there. The lots that are being subdivided, are those lots already built on?
Yes, it is partially built.
Okay, fantastic. And so we're not talking about on a lot division. We're not talking about putting up any giant structures to divide right down the center of the parking lot where the blue line was, correct?
So this application is just to subdivide it. No construction is proposed at this time.
Thank you very much. Are there any other questions from staff? Commissioner Grant? Commissioner Meyerhoffen?
Yes. After reading the letter here, is there any legal ramifications or any legal thing that keep us from voting on this tonight in a positive way?
Miss City Attorney?
No, there is not. I think what you're referring to, Commissioner Meyerhoffen, is the fact that we got another letter from the Carpenters Union, I believe, and that letter is for the specific plan, and it does not appear to be for this parcel map, but I will leave that up to the commissioners.
Commissioner Meyerhoffen, if I can piggyback for just 1 second, Miss City Attorney, on the particular letter that we received from the Southwest Regional Council of Carpenters, I've read through the document, and it appears that most of the information that pertains to this document would be something that would be consistent with a new development, not something that's already received its approvals. We're here tonight just on a lot division, correct? Not anything to do with the actual development itself.
Correct.
Thank you very much, Ms. City Attorney. Mr. Meyerhoffen?
No more questions.
Okay, Commissioner Wagstaff.
Yeah, I got one question. Just for clarity, we're subdividing a parcel or recommending the approval of the subdivision of a parcel. Anything that's built on that parcel after or changed or tentative improvement still has to go through the city for approval process, correct?
That is correct.
Okay, that's all.
Thank you, Commissioner Wagstaff. Vice Chair Nindell, did you have any questions this evening?
No, thank
Okay,
you.
wonderful. At this time, we will go ahead and open the public hearing. Do we have anyone for the public hearing?
No, we do not.
Okay, fantastic. At this time, we'll go ahead and take testimony from the applicant if the applicant is present.
I understand the applicant is en route, but not here at the time.
Okay. At this moment, we'll go ahead and take public testimony, which we have none. We'll go ahead and close the public hearing and move on to Planning Commission discussion. Commissioner Grant, do you have any discussion on this item?
Yes, a lot of discussion. I read the packet, and I figured that they had some key points. I understand that it's in regards to the specific plan, but it still applies. So I think that's something that we need to really take into consideration with this, is looking at the, SWRCC, and seeking from council, or making sure that council is aware of this so they can take this into consideration as far as collective bargaining is concerned. I know it mentioned apprenticeships and greenhouse gas emissions, hiring locally. I believe in unions. I think most people do, but I think that's something that council has to approve and not us.
I understand your point, Commissioner Grant. However, today we're just deciding whether or not we want to allow them to subdivide a lot. The information that you're talking about, this development has already gone through those processes. They've already obtained the right to build their development. They're just coming to us, asking us to split a lot for them. It doesn't have anything to do with their greenhouse gases being emitted. It doesn't have anything to do with employment. It doesn't have anything to do with who they hire for building structures. It only has to do with whether or not we want to allow them to split a lot.
That's overstood, but that's still something that should have been considered initially.
Point taken. Is there any other discussion? Commissioner Merhoffen.
I read this letter, I think it was 3 or 4 pages of it, and I'm not quite sure if it has anything to really do with this particular project. It's more of an ordinance that the Carpenters Union needs to come back to the city and ask them to pass an ordinance that would help out. The 10-mile employee going to work within 10 miles and how that's going to save the clean air, make the clean air go. It just doesn't make any sense. 10 miles away, and then the Carpenters Union is 45 miles where they'll have to go do their classroom training. The whole thing is just seems as if though it defeats the purpose. It has nothing to do with this project, and I'll be voting no.
Thank you, Commissioner Merhoffen. Commissioner Wagstaff?
I don't have any questions.
Vice Chair Nindell?
I have nothing.
Okay, thank you very much. Well, at this time, I would entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion.
Okay, your motion, Commissioner Grant?
Am I allowed to make a motion with the applicant not being present? That's the first thing.
The public notice was set. The meeting start time was for 6 o'clock. The applicant was aware, so yes, ma'am. Yep.
And I would like to say that the applicant has in fact just arrived.
May I still make that motion?
The floor is yours.
May I make a recommendation to approve tract map number 22-2, a request for the subdivision of 7.65 acre parcel into 2 parcels, allowing for council to take into consideration the request of the SWRCC and make a recommendation for the applicant or developers to hire locally from within the community if they propose to the developer to hire workers that are in the union, that the workers are local skilled, and that we have an adequate labor project agreement from the developer and collective bargaining agencies that we ensure local skilled labor is included.
Okay, we do have a motion on the floor. Do we have a second?
I'd like to second it.
Okay, we have a second on the floor. And before we call for a vote, can I have the city clerk read back the motion for everyone? Or do I need to have Ms. Grant restate?
Yeah, I would ask the maker of the motion. That was pretty long.
Okay, Ms. Grant, can you restate your motion one more time, please?
Make a recommendation to approve tract map number 22-2, a request for the subdivision of a 7.65 acre parcel into 2 parcels, allowing for council to take into consideration the request of SWRCC and make a recommendation for the applicant or developers to hire locally from within the community. And if they propose to the developer to hire workers that are in the union and that the workers are local, skilled, and that we have an adequate labor project agreement from the developer and collective bargaining agencies, and that we ensure local skilled labor is included.
Okay, we have a motion and a second on the floor. Is there any discussion, further discussion? We've all heard Ms. Grant's motion. That motion has been seconded. I believe that, in my opinion, I believe that we should allow, based off of the information that we have in front of us, I believe that we should allow the project to proceed forward with their lot split. And I don't think that we should, I don't think that we should hinder them with any kind of forced practices in regards to hiring union personnel or anything like that. Again, this is just a lot split request. This doesn't have anything to do with any other portion of the applicant's property or the business that they intend to run there. So my thoughts on it would be that I would be willing to move forward with staff's recommendation on approving the lot split and leaving the motion at that. But that's just where I stand. Commissioner Wagstaff, do you have any comments?
No, we can vote on that.
Mr. Chair, members of the commission, just for the record, so we have a motion on the floor which was made by Commissioner Grant. It appears, I don't know, Mr. Chair, was your subsequent motion to approve staff's recommendation, and was it Commissioner Wagstaff's second? Is that where we're at?
Yes, I apologize, Ms. City Attorney, for not making that clear. Yes, my statements are a motion, a subsequent motion to approve staff's recommendation on the parcel split with no other attached requirements.
If I may, Chair, may I speak?
Yes, Commissioner Grant.
At this point, I really feel that there's nothing that within this motion that says that I'm not approving or not allowing for any approval on anything else. It's just approving it and allowing for City Council to just look into what Mr. Sai's office said. It's still an approval. It's no barring. It's no forcing. It's none of that. It's asking just to look into that because we don't have any ordinance within the city. My motion did not even have the opportunity to even get a vote before it was a discussion, and there was no second. So at this point, I believe that it's being led now by the city attorney, and that's not how this is supposed to operate.
Okay, Commissioner Grant, thank you for your comments. Just so you know, you do have a second on the floor, and we are in commissioner discussion prior to taking the vote. According to the rules that our commission follows, there is an opportunity for a subsequent motion to be made during the commissioner discussion and a second allowed. Your motion will be heard and voted on first prior to the subsequent motion. If there is a successful subsequent motion that has a second, the city attorney was currently trying to find out if I had indeed made a motion and if that motion was seconded. She is not leading the meeting, I am. So at this point in time, I will turn to Commissioner Wagstaff and ask Commissioner Wagstaff if he was seconding my subsequent motion to clarify for the city attorney.
Yes, Chairman, I was seconding your motion.
Okay, so at this time, we are going to take a vote on the first motion on the subsequent motion. Would that be correct? Okay.
Correct.
At this
Any
time,
amended subsequent motions take precedence over the original motion. If that motion fails, then it reverts back to the original motion on the floor.
Correct.
thank you very much, Mr. Soriano. At this time, we will take a vote on the subsequent motion. We have a first and a second to approve the lot split based on staff's recommendations.
Will you repeat the motion?
Yes, thank you.
Yes. My subsequent motion was to allow the applicant, to approve, to allow the applicant to split their one parcel into two within the Cochillan Specific Plan, Parcel 33, APN number 666-340-040. That is my motion. No additives to it.
And that's the motion we're voting for, right?
That is the motion, the subsequent motion that we are voting on now.
And that's the staff's recommendation, so we're voting for,
Currently, we are voting on the subsequent motion. If the subsequent motion fails, we will revert back to the original motion, which Ms. Grant made and you seconded. So we have a first and a second on the subsequent motion to approve. May we have a vote, please?
Let's do a roll call vote.
Thank you.
Commissioner Grant,
Yes, this is for the subsequent motion.
No.
Commissioner Meyerhoffen,
abstain.
Commissioner Wagstaff,
Aye.
Vice Chair Nindell,
Aye.
Chair Duffel.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Well, this was the only item on the agenda this evening, so at this time, we will go ahead and adjourn the meeting.